Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bat Friends Podcast, episode number 85, where two friends rediscover an animated classic. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside the world champion, Joe. Sup, Joe?
It was the heat of the moment. There was something else I was going to say, and it fucking went out of my head. As usual, we have talked more off mic than on mic, because we're smart.
Does it have something to do with Walt Disney and freezing his head?
Not yet, but we're getting there.
Okay. So, I should have done this math off air, but we're going to do it on air, everybody.
What math are you fucking... What are you doing?
I got to figure out times for life.
I'd help if I had any idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so... this will come out next week.
So this is our Christmas episode?
Pretty much.
That's hilarious.
So, okay, next episode I can do it. But this episode, Christmas Day, across all three platforms.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get the commentary track for the Colonel Sanders mini movie. What are we referring to it as?
The feature-length commercial, Recipe for Seduction.
Yes. So
starring Mario Lopez.
So you can download it here. It'll pop up on your feed. Listen to it. It's fun.
It's on YouTube if you want to. You can do it as an actual watch-along. We give you a countdown to actually watch it along with us if you so choose.
Yes. Or if you prefer to download it on Joe's podcast, Joe Meets World, or my other podcast, Force Comic News, you can do that too. Or you can download all three and be a superstar.
You would. You'd be worth all the gold banana stickers in the world.
But this week we're going to very appropriately watch episode 84 of Batman Animated Series.
85.
I thought it was 84.
Oh yeah, it's 84 of the animated series.
Yes.
It's 85 of Bat Friends.
Yes.
That's what's messing me up.
And it's titled Deep Freeze. Story is by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, with teleplay by Paul Dini, directed by Kevin Altieri.
That's what I was going to say. Joe Meets World has really pulled away from you in episode numbers. That's what was going through my head.
It's almost like we skipped a few weeks.
Yeah, I know, it's the damnedest thing. I mean, what's this Wii you speak of? You with the mouse in your pocket? Yeah, you did. It's almost like we skipped a few weeks.
Well, technically we did.
I mean, I was always here. I don't know how I get the blame for this. It's the robot. Fucking.
So it's the beginning of Terminator.
Fucking crab. Danger, danger! High voltage. When we kiss.
All I think of when you say crab is crab people.
That came up somewhere the other day that made. Oh! So it's a running gag from ICS because all podcasts are ultimately about other podcasts.
Yep.
That one of the hosts, when he worked at Starbucks and he decided that he did not give a shit about working at Starbucks, would pick up the tongs and would like squat down like he was a crab and do like this crab dance thing, clicking them. So then another guy had recreated that because when he was working in a kitchen in LA. And just the other day he posted that he is just, that mustache is fantastic.
Yes.
I just realized this is an Art Fleischer fucking robot. Which actually is, that ties into more with the Walt Disney. So he's gonna, his scoop name now, he's gonna change it to Crabman Scoop.
Okay.
And he put it on Twitter. So my initial reaction was to do the hey, my name is Earl, hey Crabman. Somebody else who I love that actually does a theme song for Joe Meets World beat me to it. So I said, Justin stole mine, so you get this one instead. And it was grab people, grab people.
So I don't know if you ever were in these scenes, but did you ever go to...
That's what I forgot real quick. I don't want to miss this because it just happened in the episode. What prison has grenades? Because they threw grenades at the Fleischer bot.
Private prisons.
For-profit prisons?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you ever go to like hardcore shows?
No.
When they were like, okay.
No.
So you don't really know about like hardcore dancing?
No.
They're like faux mosh pits. where they just swing limbs around wildly and pretend like they're moshing.
But they don't make contact?
Mosh. Well, they try not to, but they always do because you're swinging limbs around wildly.
Okay. Batmite!
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Batmite gets to make an appearance in the show.
And a great way to do it, too.
Yeah.
So, okay, anyway, so I knew a guy, we were at a show, and he kept making the joke that he was going to do the crab dance. And then one day, this is going on, where we're at a show, and these people are fucking, like, and I'm talking like kicking their legs in the air, like all this shit.
Okay, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this little guy, about the size of somebody we know who likes to pretend he's a woman on Facebook.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's a deep cut. Yeah. That's a deep cut for me. Okay.
So he's about the size of him.
Okay.
And you see all these big dudes with fucking face tattoos flailing their arms around, look like morons, and all of a sudden this guy comes in and just starts going this.
That's hilarious.
And I almost fell over laughing because it was just so fantastic.
That is tremendous.
And by this, everybody, I mean the crab dance.
Yeah, he's in the crab dance.
But yeah,
I went to punk shows where they would do the circle thing. You ever do part of the circle thing?
Circle pits, yeah. That's because
I've seen some good pits in my days too. By the way,
I refuse to call the hardcore. I love hardcore music,
okay,
but I refuse to call hardcore pits mosh pits because they're not. They're a bunch of people flailing their arms around and trying not to make contact because they're afraid they're going to get hurt.
Yeah. I've seen some good mosh pits though, like where like when you have the thing where like they're working hard, but then you have the guys that are the enforcers of like somebody goes down and they make sure to block for them and pick them up. Like I've seen some good mosh pits. I remember when I went to Warped Tour, someone just was trying to launch himself to crowd surf off of my back, but he tried to do it without telling me, and I'm like, I could have got, and he wasn't tall enough, so I'm like, I could have got down a little bit to help you up, dude. Like, you just gotta say something.
The best were punk rock circle pits, because actually people cared about each other and were part of a community.
Right. And now Walt Disney stole Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. My all-time favorite concert moment, though, is I went to see this band. They're like, let's just call them death metal.
Sure.
So they had this thing on stage where they had to look angry all the time because that's how you know you worship Satan.
Right, of course.
And this girl gets on top of some guy's shoulders.
Yeah.
And she pulls out her tits, and that was wonderful.
As it should be, right.
And the guitarist breaks character.
Tremendous.
And he just has this giant smile on his face.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
And it was fantastic. Yeah, so robot sharks.
Sharkpedos.
And apparently that boat is now a submarine.
Yeah, because he's Batman. He's the goddamn Batman.
It's true. I read that once.
In a book. Oh no! Covered in water.
So, I don't know if this is I'm clinically, because I've been diagnosed with depression, that I'm clinically depressed or not, but do you ever have, thoughts that pop in your mind of, what's going to happen when somebody dies? It could be your father, or it could be just, somebody you respect, or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if that helps you, because I probably should be diagnosed as as depressed, but...
But I was thinking about that when it came to Miller recently. Because I started to realize, I'm like, Miller's fucking old.
Oh, yeah. And he does not look good.
No. And I was like, he's probably the person in comics that's influenced me the most.
Okay. I mean, I don't think about celebrity deaths.
Mr. Freeze is fabulous right now.
Back in his suit. Yeah. Back in the saddle again. I don't think about celebrity deaths as much. I don't think of like that where it's oh well, so and so. I mean, the closest, it's weird. The closest I will get. I love this. Which is I don't like your robot. Fuck it. I'm going to freeze it.
Enjoy your frozen robot.
Servo? I don't know. It's like a dick.
And now he's gonna kill Walt Disney.
He's gonna freeze him at least. But I thought about because I do think it's a little morose. I think I think having the thought of someone close to you dying makes more sense because in that respect you're thinking about the relationship, and I think it can be a little morose to think about like, you know, a celebrity dying. Not that I'm not passing judgment on your statement. I'm just saying that's why I think it doesn't enter my mind as much.
The ones that really hit me, and they stop me in my tracks, and I have to like kind of gain my composure back, is when like the thought that my dad's gonna die.
Right.
Those are the ones that get me. But the celebrity ones, like, that's the first time a celebrity one's really popped in my brain. Yeah. That like. Because
someone this year,
don't consider
someone this year caught me off guard. Like it hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to, and I can't remember who it was.
I'm gonna say I don't consider them celebrities as much. Like when Stan Lee passed,
right?
And even when Ditko passed, and like a few of the others, I'm like, these are people that like I don't consider celebrities, but they are people that
have some, yeah.
They have
notoriety.
Influenced my life significantly one way or another. And Nora's back.
Because Walt Disney was secretly funding the project that Freeze was working on when he became... Yeah, I was a major investor in Goth Corp. Walt Disney and Bruce Wayne together, I guess. Walt Disney worked with the wage slave guy. That makes perfect sense.
The fucking wage slave. That's still my favorite.
Did you pick up the comic book history of animation?
No.
I just read it. It's really good, and it's being funny and having fun with it. But it's right now it's dealt with like Disney pre-Disney core, and the next one's going to be all about like Mickey Mouse and it's one of those things where it's just like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Where it's like Edison's a dick, and they talk about the guy who originally basically created animation, and the way he created animation, like proto-animation, was he literally sat there and redrew the same picture 3,000 times, or whatever it was. Like, they saved a literal number, and someone's like, you should trademark your method, because that's what Edison would do, and then just fucking sue people. And he goes, and they quote him where he goes, if any idiot wants to sit there and redraw the same picture 30,000 times, they're welcome to do it. And then they had this thing where like there was this big dinner of all the animators of the time that were like honoring him, like a lifetime achievement thing. And his speech was just like, "You're assholes. This was an art, and you have turned it into a trade. And I hope you all die." Like not that, but like that was basically it's like fuck all of you. But it just made me laugh because it's like they literally say there were patent trolls. So like people who would create a new form of animation, and then like that's what happened. Where I think it was somebody else made
Walt Disney wants to create Utopia and then freeze the rest of the world,
right? And then wait for it to thaw out, and all the bad people will be gone.
Yeah,
like Jesus.
It's true. He flooded things,
and that's the story of Jesus. But like, so the first guy that first did animation invented it, and then Edison tried to sue him and be like, "No, I did it first." And it's like, "No, you didn't." But it's like the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Well, did you see? I'm forgetting the guy's name because he's a fucking idiot and I don't care. And I didn't realize this thing. There has not been a Kadabra Pokemon card in
because of Uri Geller.
Okay, Geller.
Uri Geller is a piece of shit.
So I started digging into it, and he this was so him telling kids that they can't have a card of one of their favorite Pokemon is not even the biggest piece of shit thing he's done in his life.
Correct.
And one of the things that just made me laugh because the absurdity that he was so full of himself that he thought he could do this.
Yeah.
Was he sued IKEA because they made a table that had bent knees, and they called it the Uri bend. And that was infringement on his trademark for fucking bending spoons.
So this is where we're going to tie this back into an earlier episode of Bat Friends. Uri Geller ruined Penn Jillette's high school science career Because Uri Geller went on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and claimed that when he was doing his stupid fucking bullshit bending spoons, which is a fucking bullshit trick, and fuck you, Uri Geller, that
he's psychic.
Right, and that there was an ESP kit, and that it was science. He wasn't doing tricks. This was a science thing. So Penn begged his parents to buy him this science kit because he loved science. And then he was so embarrassed when they spent their hard-earned money on it, and he realized at like 12 or whatever it was, like, like he was a teenager, so he was young but not a child. Might have actually been a child. He was so embarrassed because he's told the story that he was fooled by this person who claimed he was a scientist, that he hated science and rejected it and failed in his grades because he didn't want to learn anything about it, because scientists and magicians were liars and charlatans and cheats. Until he met Teller and then James Randi. James Randi, who we lost this year, was a fucking saint, and Uri Geller is not fit to fucking mow his grave. So, Johnny Carson was a magician before he was Johnny Carson. Like, small-time magician. And he didn't like Uri Geller because Uri Geller was like, I really have powers, whatever. So he asked James Randi, what should I do to expose him for being a fucking asshole and a fraud? Mm-hmm. And Randy goes, it's easy. Just give him spoons he's never seen before. And so you can watch the episode where Uri Geller's, where Johnny's like, okay, well, here's the spoons you're going to bend. And Yuri's never seen them before and can't bend them. And doesn't know how. He's like, oh, just the strength is not with me today. I don't know. Because he's a piece of shit. And I hope you sue me. Fuck you, Uri Geller. Because he's very litigious. Fuck you, Uri Geller. You're a piece of shit.
So what's funny is,
I really don't like Uri Geller.
The one Pokemon podcast I listened to, they really went into, like, they started digging deep into them, and the one guy in the show, because, like, one guy's always trying to play the middle ground of, like, well, maybe so, because he came out.
I never noticed the Constructibots the first time.
Because he came out and apologized and said, like, I feel really bad about this, blah, blah, blah.
Fuck him. Go on.
There's a guy in there that's you. He comes out and is like, no, fuck that, because if you look at that post, it comes, so literally somebody, the 25th anniversary Pokemon happened around Macy's Day Parade. Okay. Right before the parade, somebody did a retrospective of why we haven't seen this card in 19 years.
Okay.
And that's how he, like, because this person apparently hates Uri Geller as much as you. He goes, he has a fucking Google alert, so his name popped up. And so Uri realized it. Then you read the apology.
Yeah.
And it's him saying, like, hey, like, you can start, let's get rid of this, you can start making it now, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, he's got some fucking museum he's doing. So it's like, blah, 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 hashtag Pokemon 25, all this other shit.
Yeah.
By the way, go to my fucking museum and spend money.
Because he's a piece of shit. So, by the way, the whole reason why the fucking comic book creators' history, or comic book history of animation came up, is because when I called them Fleischer bots, and Fleischer is actually the one I was thinking of when he fit. Fleischer, I think Fleischer was the first one. No, Fleischer basically invented rotoscoping.
Okay.
But he did it by hand. So he would take pictures. He would have people pose and picture things, take pictures, and then trace them. And that's why his animation looks so real life, because it was literally tracing like a life, and then cartooning it, the actual life image. But Fleischer's a big part of the first issue. That's what made me think it was with Fleischer bots. Enjoy your frozen dick. Attention, Oceana. You must leave. Your city is doomed. If you value your lives, you will evacuate now.
Before your dick is frozen.
And that is all. Like, ends it with that. Your city is doomed. That is all. Walker instead of Walt. Yeah. Enjoy your frozen dick forever.
They're,
that is
the most phallic
image
of them all. I love how everything Being frozen is just frozen in these
I know, in these spires and shit. I'm staying with Nora. Don't be a fool, this whole place is going under. I won't lose her again. I don't know what the fuck that is. I am the least of your worries. Enjoy your frozen dick. Get it? His name is
Grayson.
I don't know how I know that. I'm Mr. Freeze. I think we made the same joke the other time too. Whatever, I don't care. It's Mr. Freeze with his fucking purple boots. Lavender. I'm sorry, the lavender boots.
He's fabulous.
We're together again, my love. Is it cool if I cop a feel? You are my wife. I guess cryo is not consent.
What cosplay is?
That's the reference I was making. Just a mushroom cloud. Ice is apparently very volatile.
Listen, in order to get cryo to work, you need a lot of nuclear energy.
So my thought of this, and I don't remember, maybe they talked about this, that Mr. Freeze doesn't need to eat. Because otherwise he's just going to starve to death. And if he's not, like if he doesn't need to eat, that's kind of actually, the Bacta tank is there. I love how this is like, this bat cave is seen once. It never looks like this ever again. Mm-hmm. But they also have the Bacta tank, because you know. But it's actually, that's
you never know when Luke's going to need it.
A watery grave is horrifying. Where you're just stuck in ice. I love those.
Let me just pray at the altar of this pussy.
Maybe if I pray long enough, you'll unfreeze, but still be frozen enough to touch my dick.
The moral of that story was everybody was stop putting the pussy on the pedestal.
Yeah, put it in a snow globe.
I like it.
You're welcome.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I like that episode, though. It was fun.
Brought up Uri Geller, so I'm sorry I didn't talk about that episode too much. It is pretty good, but fuck Uri Geller. I think the moral of the story is fuck Uri Geller. I'm pretty sure that Uri Geller inspired the $1 Million Challenge, which was not originally the $1 Million Challenge, because it's something else we were kind of talking about, where I think originally it was like it might have been like a $10,000 challenge or whatever. And it was Randy put up his own money, 10 grand or whatever. And anyone who could actually under experimental conditions with proper controls and supervision on an agreed upon test, if you could demonstrate supernatural powers, you would win the money.
Okay.
And then over time, you know, as Randy met people with money, they just kept contributing to it to where it became a $1 Million challenge. And and they don't do it anymore because JREF, the James Randi Educational Foundation, I think doesn't exist, or maybe it does, but they just stopped doing it because, you know, after 50 years, no one could ever do it. It's almost as if bullshit psychic powers don't exist.
Just because you don't believe, man.
And neither do these people, because they all could have won $1 million. I don't do it for the money. Fine, donate it to charity. Oh, you won't? You're an awful person. But it's really fun. You can actually look it up. And, like, it would be on shows where, like, they agreed to have this person on, and they were going to do the JREF test there, and so they would do it on a TV show. And when you just see people just, like, they just can't, because it's, one guy claimed he could, like, telekinetically move the pages of a phone book. And they went, okay. And they just put pieces of paper, like, crumpled up pieces of paper on top of the phone book. And like, well, if you're just breathing really carefully, you're going to send all this flying. If you're actually using telekinesis, all these other pieces will stay still and the page will flip. And the damnedest thing happened. All of a sudden, he couldn't do it. And then I remember I watched it, I think it was on YouTube. Years later, they talked to the guy, and he goes, yeah, I was just I trained myself to really carefully be able to just blow, like, just without even looking like I was blowing air through my mouth to make the pages move. They got me. But and I think he even said, he goes, the crazy thing was, I did it so much that because you have to agree to the test. He goes, so I agreed to the test because I thought maybe if I got up there, I could really do it. Because people buy into their own bullshit.
Well, if anybody else has heard the advertisements I've had, I learned this week that apparently...
we don't do that on this show, but I think that's hilarious that you started to go into it.
But I learned that Alice Cooper doesn't believe in ghosts. He thinks that demons are pretending to be ghosts just to fuck with us. Speaking of fucking with us, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice. I met him. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Got to hang out with him a little bit because of Yambar.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun. As always, if you want more of me and my hatred of Uri Geller, you can go to joepank.com. It's just full of just fuck Uri Geller memes.
It's almost Chris hates vinyl amounts of anger.
Almost.
You just need a little bit more.
Mine's more justified, that's why. There's all kinds of things on there. There's Twitch links. There's all kinds of fun stuff. I actually have streamed on Twitch when you're hearing this, so you should go over there. Follow me on Twitch. Help me get affiliate. Help me make money, because then I will be a happier person and not rant about Uri Geller for 15 minutes. You can also follow me on Twitter at Cthulhu Holmes or Joe Pank. Both will get you there. You can follow me on Instagram at JoePank36. And as always, if you want my other show that Joe is on occasionally, that Chris is on occasionally, called Joe Meets World, uncut and unedited up to 3 days early, you can go to patreon.com/JoePank and give me as little as $2 a month. And the thing I always forget when I'm over here, but I shouldn't, especially because of this episode, go to enjoyyourfrozendick.com. It's too late for Christmas by like a day, but hopefully if Chris gets this out on time, but give the gift of a frozen dick in this new year.
If you want more Joe, because Joe is also on the Joe, go to Joe Meets World.
I should make Joe pretty. Joe. San Francisco. Incorrect.
It just reminds me of that. I don't know why this sticks with me, but it's an old Seinfeld episode. Yeah. And it's
Crazy Joe DeBola?
No. It's when they get all the Republicans in the room, and it's like Bob Dole and Dracula. Like, what? I don't know why this sticks in my head. But then Bob Dole, they tell Bob Dole that he can't run for president because he's too old. And they say Bob Dole doesn't care about, what was it? He says Bob Dole like 1,000 times. I gotta find the bit and give it to you. It's hilarious.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm so tired. I thought you said it's an old Seinfeld bit, and I went, why did Seinfeld have all of the Republicans in one room? I don't remember that episode at all.
I might have said that. If I did, it's Simpsons, and I'm sorry.
We should actually plan to do a late night recording one time, because it gets goofy as fuck.
Find me at Twitter, Fortress Chris. We'll see y'all next week.
We just never plan it.